Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Sulhi Azman, joined by Nadia, Hassan. It is the edition of January 18, 2016. And Nadia, it was certainly a bad week last week. It's full of sad stories, unexpected death and so on. But hopefully we are going to have a better week this week, I hope.
I almost don't want to say, because this is like asking for it, right? When you say, how bad can it get? It's already been pretty bad and it's only been the first 2 weeks of the year. But before, of course, we move on to the markets, today is a very, very important birthday in, civil rights movement, because Martin Luther King Jr., of course, and it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Wall Street's closed for that holiday. He was famous for his I Have a Dream speech.
Yeah, I have a dream speech indeed. You know, some of his favorite quotes are, I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked place will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together.
Hallelujah. So
Hallelujah.
The fact is, he was assassinated in 1968, and it triggered a lot of things. There's a movie called Selma, which is apparently very good if you want to watch it. But, you know, aside from that, but we're not on holiday. The market was open today for us.
Correct, yeah. I mean, looking in the Bursa Malaysia today, the market closed 6 points lower to 1,622 points, with some 2.13 billion shares traded worth 1.87 billion ringgit. Now, the market, the regional market as well as the local market, is in the doldrum.
Yeah, exactly. So the market's red. This is not just specific to us. In general, Asian shares all actually slipped to the lowest level since 2011. You know, massive fall in oil prices, US economic data, and the sell-off actually continued. MIDF said that foreign sellers sold about 76.9 million. You know, biggest, bringing the year-to-date sell-off in Malaysia to 1.38 billion ringgit net.
Yeah, according to JP Morgan, emerging markets have certainly been unloved, to quote unquote in their word. About 74 billion US dollars flowed out of the global emerging market equity funds, up from 25 billion US dollars in 2014. Anyway, oil is still depressed.
Yes, oil is the story for today.
How low will it go? That's the main question.
You know, you laugh when people actually said that 10 US dollars. But, you know, it looks to be the case. Of course, today, Iran, the sanctions are lifted. Iran floods the market. It compounded this fear again of oversupply. Hence why, you know, it's down to about 28. It was just I think it was just a tough week. It's not starting out well. Nikkei also felt the pain, closed down about 1.12%. Shanghai also closed up, though, 0.44%. Still the rocky pattern that we see. So what else are we looking out for this week? China,
yeah, a very important thing, because China plays a very important role in the world market today, in the world economy.
IPI numbers, and of course BNM will issue a policy decision on Thursday.
Correct. Okay, moving on now to Hotstocks today. We have Emas Kiara Industries Bhd today. The closing price was up 8% or 7 cents to end the trade at 92 cents today. Now, volume surprisingly was very, very heavy for the market. I mean,
for them,
you know, 750,000 shares. This is actually a bit higher than 100,000 shares traded previously.
Well, that's what their average was. So the reason, of course, they went up because you remember these guys, their market caps is tiny, 84 million, give or take. So the thing is, the reason why they rose to this 5-year high was because they had a takeover offer by KF Capital. And you know our market, it reacts to almost any little thing, right? Especially now when people are looking for stuff. So KF Capital is controlled by this brother and sister duo, Cindy and Simon Sim, and their father, Siu Katong, is actually the independent non-executive director. So the thing about this takeover offer, they are actually intending to maintain the listing status of this company. So it makes me wonder whether or not the family is just accumulating, and because they triggered the MGO, they have to offer the MGO anyway. Yeah, correct.
And you know, and speaking of the reaction, right, the share price actually peaked to a 5-year high, and you know, the offer price was actually 80 cents today. Now, what happened was they actually purchased the shares together from the previous shareholders, and this will increase the stakes from 15% to 47%. Now, because it exceeds 33%, they would have to extend the offer to the minority shareholders.
Do you think they actually want to completely privatize the company, though?
I don't think so too, because they have actually stated in their letters that they wanted to maintain the listing status.
So what do you think that means, right? I mean, it's like you want to maintain the listing status, and the fact is at 80 cents means there's not much take up, won't they? Because at the price already 92 cents.
Yeah, correct. But then again, I think they want to tighten the grips, and I think they're looking at the companies, right? They wanted to expand the business because the company is involved in geotechnical services,
yes, exactly.
And they also they have tendering projects in Assam in India with a local company, but they also have some interesting property developments going on.
Well, if you see their earnings, definitely it's impressive because they turned from red back to the black in terms of net profit. And top line, you did see a bit of improvement. So maybe this is why they feel they want to tighten the grip on the company.
Yeah, correct. So just to take it home all the way, Emas Kiara today, the share price rose as high as 8% today on takeover news by KF Capital. Anyway, moving on to stocks momentum today, we have UMS-Neiken Group Bhd pegged as negative momentum by the Edge Research. It closed up 3% or 4 cents higher at RM1.33 today, and the stock again with the case of
the case of the what? The movies?
Emas Kiara.
The movies? The
it's not Benjamin Button, by the way.
Yeah, the movies.
Peaked to 5-year high.
Yeah, so the fact is 3.3%, but it's fairly in a liquid stock. Average volume's only been about 100,000. And but Friday, you saw the 3.3 million shares changing hands. So obviously when you talk about negative momentum, you're talking about people who seem to move for no reason or whether they're going to keep moving. These guys do design, manufacture and trading of electrical wiring. And they've been one of those companies, I think, that you call kind of under the radar, kind of moving, especially since there's nothing. There was no new announcement to warrant this moving of the share price. And the last one was actually their earnings.
Yeah, that was listening as well. If you look at the earnings, right, revenue was down by 11.6%, while net profit was up by 40%. And the company, as you pointed out, very quiet, not much of a news, except to say that in the last annual report, they say the favorable foreign exchange movement of US dollars as compared to ringgit will do well for their earnings.
Yeah, so the thing was, they also went through their annual report, they went through a whole bunch of downsizing actually last year. They actually sort of like disposed some of their Hong Kong, well no, they disposed some of their Hong Kong, they streamlined. The fact is, but the two things they're keeping is Malaysia, of course, where they're based in Rawang, and Vietnam. So Vietnam, they say they're quite happy about it because of the low-cost base. And we've seen this story before. No, the Vietnam story, they think it's going to move in. So maybe that's what's pushing. But I'm really curious why somebody's buying. Is it just a rotational play? Is it because in the cane of Emas Kiara is something happening? It's a big question.
Yeah, we have yet to see what is going on there.
Yeah.
But the cash position of the company is very strong, 21.6 million ringgit of cash, while borrowing was 5.78 million ringgit.
How can you not love that? How can you love a company that seems to at least manage itself well?
Correct, and then you're armed with a lot of strong watches and so on. But anyway, just to take it home all the way, stock momentum today, we have UMS-Neiken Group Bhd, pegged as negative momentum by the Edge Research. It closed up 3% and to end the trade at RM1.33.